So we're here, Fox Studios, Wilder Fury 2, Dos, the rematch. Pretty cool event, a little bit swanky. The heavy hitters are here. Anybody who's anybody is here at Fox Studios today in downtown LA. Sweet Lord, it is a little bit loud in here. Might have to move somewhere else. Who do you got? How do you see this fight going? I really don't know. I'm going to walk around, ask a couple of the old boxing heads, the real media, the die-hard media, the grunts that go to the club shows. We're going to go in, we're going to see what everybody thinks about this fight and about Fox and ESPN working with each other. It's kind of a big deal. It's something that you don't see as often as you would like to see. And this is the type of event, the size of the event. It's the heavyweight championship of the world. People want to see the best fight the best. And when the organizations, the broadcast networks, and the promoters, and the managers, and the fighters, and everybody can work together, it makes for the best types of events. And you bring the best type of people in industry together, and you put these things on. We're going to walk around, see what everybody thinks, and get back to you.
In the first press conference, they worked really well together. They seemed like eager and happy to work with each other. So, dare I say, Spence versus Crawford, maybe that's a sign of things to come.
It could happen now, right? Seeing this today makes you really believe. Like, you got Mark Kriegel and Sean Porter sitting at the same table right now. So it's like, man, it could definitely happen.
Yeah, you have the PBC and Top Rank working together, which I think people would have said were enemies for the longest period of time. And they're putting together arguably the biggest fight in boxing that you can put together right now, a heavyweight title fight between two unbeaten guys, a fight that we've been calling for. And hey, look, give them credit. They got it done very quickly. And there's a possibility of another one of these fights, so depending on how this one goes. So I think that bodes well for the sport, to make the fights that people want to see and to have the promoters work together. Business is good for everybody when it's booming.
I love it. I think it's fantastic that we finally have different promotional companies, different networks coming together, working together. When I started in the sport, we always said if you were with, let's say, Top Rank, if you were with Golden Boy, if you were ESPN, whatever channel you were with, you weren't expected to see those fights happen. And now we've seen networks, promotional companies work together, and that's when the biggest fights come together. So this is absolutely great for boxing. This is perfect for every fight fan.
This particular event is a watershed moment for the sport of boxing, and hopefully it's a portent or a foreshadowing of more things to come. We've had too many events, specifically I would say last 15 to 20 years, that didn't happen, that were bogged down by the politics of the sport, the rivalry and the factions, and quite frankly a lot of the greed and selfishness of those involved. Here we got people breaking bread together. And see, the winner of this fight won't necessarily be just Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. They're going to get their riches. This fight does well commercially and also from a critical standpoint. We know who's involved in this event. It's a co-promotion between two very big platforms. That if this event hits and it does well, look, everyone involved will then say, well, wait a minute, if a fight like this can be successful and it moves the sport along, why can't Errol Spence and Terence Crawford have the same type of dynamic? So that's where I think is the real intrigue.
So that's the general consensus. People are excited. The fight. The fight is the fight. And you're going to be excited for the fight. I'm excited for the fight. You're excited for the fight. Everybody here is excited for the fight. But there's also sort of a general consensus that it feels good to see Fox and ESPN working together. Because, the fight is one of those matchups where we don't think we're going to get to see it, like a Spence Crawford, and then back in the day you had Lewis Tyson, things like that, where you don't think you're going to get to see these matchups. But also sort of the media guys, seeing Kriegel, and you got Sean Porter sitting at the desk. Now you get to see these media dudes working together, and it's kind of like, who's going to shine better? Who's got the better crew? And we're finding a little bit of that out. time to take the seat.
Well, if I'm right in thinking, it's the 4th time in modern American boxing history that we've had two rival broadcasters working together to make a big fight happen. You know, in the past it was Pacquiao Mayweather, Lewis Tyson, Lewis Holyfield. Was it Lewis Holyfield or was it Tyson Holyfield? One of those, anyway. And here's the 4th time, and this time it's two new companies as well in ESPN and Fox. We're here at Fox Studios today, where they're having their portion of the Wilder Fury press conference. In fact, it's so big for them that even the elevator's got the poster in right now when we came up to the press conference today. It's very good for boxing when it happens, and it should happen more often, frankly.
You have the two of the major networks in sports, ESPN and Fox, who do sports in every sport. And now they're working together to promote this event, and that's great for the sport. I mean, it's just great. I mean, this is very, very exciting, and they're working together seamlessly. Unlike the old days with HBO and Showtime, where they were two little puppies fighting with each other, these are adults who work together for the greater good, and so far it's been absolutely seamless on both sides. So I'm very, very excited. PBC and Top Rank have worked together extraordinarily well. I mean, everybody has an obligation to the sport of boxing. This is it. This is the big heavyweight championship match, and working together will get that message out to the public.
I think the fight could maybe end up turning out the same way as the first, but given what Tyson Fury said, he said that he wants to throw a little bit more, not be as defensive. He wasn't happy with how many punches he threw in the first fight, so I think he's going to be in there with them. Thing is, people are thinking, hey, if he's goes toe-to-toe with Deontay Wilder, that's not a very good thing. Thing is, Fury is a very slippery guy, very defensive guy, so I think if you look at the first fight, he made Deontay Wilder miss a lot of punches, and I think if he is going to fight that type of fight, he can go ahead and pull it off. Thing is, though, he needs to really work on his timing and his conditioning, so he doesn't have like a lackadaisical moment in the fight like we saw with Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz got a little too comfortable with Deontay Wilder, and he paid the price for it.
All right, Wilder Fury 2 press conference, thoughts?
It was great. It was actually better than the first one. I like the whole TV atmosphere of it, and I love the fact that it was on both Fox and ESPN, so that is perfect.
Super interactive.
Very.
And okay, so I'm not only excited to see Wilder and Fury throw down, but you know what also kind of got me a little bit like, oh, look.
What?
When I saw Kriegel and the Fox crew sitting at the desk, because it's sort of like a merging of two worlds. It's almost like when your two favorite shows come together.
Sadly, we couldn't see it because we were here live, but the people who saw it on TV and everything like that, Max Kellerman satellite dished in. So that was pretty good. They did a satellite feed with Max Kellerman, so it was a nice back and forth. So I loved it.
So that's it. We're here, LA, Fox Sports Studios. Ready?
February 22nd, tune into the pay-per-view. Trust me, it's going to be good.
We're out.
Peace.